Hi everyone, welcome back to Conductor in Quarantine. Today I'm featuring another composer of color. This one's a bit more famous than some of the other ones I've talked about already, although perhaps not a household name by however you might define that term. And that's Samuel Coleridge-Taylor, English composer, lived from 1875 to 1912. First, a little Wikipedia-style disambiguation. So there's Samuel Taylor Coleridge, English poet about 100 years earlier than that, probably most famous for things like Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Samuel Coleridge-Taylor, the composer, was named after him. There's a later composer, African-American composer, active throughout the 20th century, named Coleridge-Taylor Perkins, who was named after the English composer. So we have lots of Coleridges and Taylors wandering around here, but they're three different guys. And we're interested in the middle one for our purposes today. Samuel Coleridge-Taylor he was mixed race. He owes his sort of development or education or upbringing in the musical sense probably to his grandfather, who encouraged him and noted his talent early on. And Coleridge-Taylor entered the Royal College of Music as a teenager, first as a violinist and then as a composer. I call him English, but he had very strong ties to the United States as well. His father was, through a rather circuitous route, the descendant of American slaves, and Coleridge-Taylor himself made several trips to the United States and had some pretty great professional successes there before dying at, as I say, at a very young age, at age 37 of pneumonia. That said, I think when you hear his music, especially the music that's not specifically inspired by things like black spirituals, you'll be struck more by its Englishness. And so if you're a fan of people like Edward Elgar, who was active around the same time, I think you'll hear some similarities. The piece I'm featuring today is a choral piece that I've adapted to my usual four-part texture called Summer is Gone. The words for this were written by an English poet, Christina Rossetti, and she actually called the poem Bitter for Sweet. And the basic theme of this text is sort of a melancholy passing of the seasons. So we start with summer, moving to autumn, and then into winter. And in Coleridge-Taylor's setting, I think he nails the mood. If you listen to this opening kind of descending passage, you can almost hear the leaves falling. And that, again, a kind of wavery chromatic descent happens actually throughout this in various ways. At the end of each verse, you actually get this chromatic progression as well. So the piece is in two verses plus a short coda at the end. The two verses aren't exactly identical, but they're pretty close. And so since it's one of the longer pieces I've done, I won't actually play through the entire thing and then sing through the entire thing. I'll just play through verse 1 and then sing the soprano part after that. Summer is gone. Summer is gone.